Hey, what's up, Reefers? I am back from Hong Kong and it was a great trip, and it's really great to be back. Actually, looking at my tank, I'm like, man, I miss this guy. So, for those of you who have been keeping score, you notice that I've changed out the light. I was using 2 UFO before the trip, and about a week before the trip, I decided to try something a little bit different. Like I mentioned in the UFO light review, the Radeon I got has a slightly better color spectrum, so I decided to mix them up a little bit to see what kind of effect I could get. And I've been running one single Radeon and then one single UFO for the last 2.5 weeks, actually 3 weeks now, and the coral seems to be really happy and the color rendition is quite good. So that is what I'm trying out right now. You see that with the UFO shooting down at an angle, I'm able to get some of these spots that used to be shaded by the Monty cap, which has really grown, by the way. So before I dive right in, I just want to let you guys know that I may be releasing maybe 2 videos a week versus the standard 1 video, at least until I got caught up with all the videos I've shot. So you notice that after I came back from the Philippines, I've been cutting together the Philippine videos, and I have not released them yet because there's so much footage, a lot of great footage. So I'm taking my time with them, and now I got back from Hong Kong and I got some nice footage from Hong Kong as well. So I really need to step up my video editing in order to catch up. So you may start noticing more than 1 upload per week. Now I will still have the standard Sunday 9:30 a.m. that is set. So every Sunday 9:30 a.m. there will be a video, but I will probably release an extra video somewhere along the week. So we will see. Alright, so back to the update. So it has been almost about, I'll say, month and a half, almost 2 months since I've really put my hand in the tank to do anything major. As a result, things are growing well. And that is actually one of my beliefs in terms of reef keeping, is that the less I tweak with the tank, the better it does. And this has certainly proven it. Now, it has really grown out of control because the last thing I really did was pretty much put in the yellow Fiji leather, and I ran out of space. So I ended up plugging down all these corals on the sand bed, just kind of like a placeholder until I can figure out what I could do with them. And we got the Aussie Gold Torch and then the Indo Gold Torch, which is a little bit more green, in my light at least, under my light. And we got the Elegance in the back. So I'm trying to figure out how to get these all to fit right in this tank. And I was actually debating what to do with the Gorgonian colony as well, the Group's Gorgonian. I'm actually really tempted to sell it, and I posted it on Instagram. A lot of you guys are like, no, don't sell it, this is your favorite coral. But it just doesn't quite fit in with the scape anymore if you look at it. So I think I will probably end up selling it locally, or at least frag it back a lot. We'll see, I'm not sure yet. Now another thing that's kind of crazy is how large the rosebud potato anatomy has become. It has really taken over. I was really trying to stop it from getting larger, so I have not fed it in the last 2 months. But it has still taken over that side of the rock. It actually covered up a small rosebud potato anemone as well as the rainbow bubble tip anemone that used to be down here. I think it got covered up somewhere underneath it. I'm not sure. I gotta wake up at night and see where those two are. But that's really taking over. Same thing with the frog spawn. Frog spawn has really expanded in the last month or so to take over the top ridge. And speaking of taking over, you see that the Monty cap has really taken off since I stopped sticking my hand in the tank. And the color has completely returned from the elk overdose accident. And it's looking good once again. The edge is white, meaning it's growing, so that's fantastic. Unfortunately, it's kind of sticking out now. It's really shading the gold hammer, or gold war hammer, so I may need to start moving things around. So I have some plan of rescaping this tank. I think I may slide the gold torch, the gold hammer out, and I twisted it a little bit vertical so it's more like a ridge over here. But then I got to make sure that it's not stinging the zoas once I have it moved. So we will figure it out. And another thing that I'm really happy about is this guy right here. I was worried that the sand is gonna choke it, but then it started plating over the sand, which is fantastic. And of course, the yellow Fiji hammer, the yellow Fiji leather has completely opened up and is super happy. I just need to find a good spot for it. Whether it's removing the Gorgonian, moving it up top, or somewhere else, I am not sure. And same thing with the gold torch. I'm tempted to sell this guy actually, because this guy actually looked gold under certain lights, but under my light, the green kind of overshadows the gold. So it does not look optimal under my tank, so I may end up selling this guy. But this guy I'll be keeping. The Xenia, I'm thinking about selling it as well because it's just not happy in my tank. So it is what it is. I also need to find a place for the limelights. Now let's take a quick look on the frac rack. Things are doing well. The A-can is spitting out a baby head, at least on this side. I have not seen the other side. Aphilopora is doing well. All the Zoas, I'm actually getting a little algae issue because I dialed back the refugium light schedule, as well as the Chaeto actually had to die off. So I introduced some new macroalgae, different type. I think it's those mini grape ones, so we'll see how that goes. I'm happy to report that the ladder that I mounted backwards righted itself and started pointing up. It is supposed to be a yellow Fiji ladder, just like this one, but it's taking on a green cast, so that's kind of interesting. It's coming back over here, so we'll see the now gigantic rose purple anemone is really kind of stinging the zoas now, or the pally. That's the purple death, and then right underneath it, that's actually a pretty nice hemisphere of I think it's called blonde girl or something. It's like pink zoas with like yellow or gold center. That has completely been covered, so it's not happy. So I got to move that whole colony somewhere else. I got to find a spot. Another thing I'm really happy about is the 24K. How do you call it? I'm not going to pronounce it. You guys know what this is. The 24K has started coming back. At least the color has come back. So now the die-off area is really obvious because a little algae started taking over, so color is really different. So the die-off is actually not as large as I thought it was. So it's slowly coming back, so that's good news. Elegance coral, not completely open at the moment, but normally it's huge. Things are doing well. Conch is going well. Speaking of conch, you'll notice that there's a dusting of diatoms on the sand bed. It was actually a lot worse before I left for Hong Kong 2 weeks ago, and that's the reason I tweaked the lights, and also I turned down the light schedule. I actually turned the light schedule way down. It's now like, I think this is like 5 hours, and that's like 5.5 or 6 hours, so the schedule's way down. Coral seems completely happy, and the diatom has really cut back a lot, but you still see we still got some of these guys right here, but it has really died back. I think one of the major contributing factor was actually the refugium, which I don't have the light on right now, but it was a huge mess, lots of detritus. I kind of touched on it last time. So my plan for this weekend, if I can get over my jet lag, is really to clean out the sump. You know, there's a lot of crap in there. I'm going to use a vac, suck everything up, make sure it's clean, and plant the macroalgae, make sure they don't kind of drift around too much. Now, in terms of livestock, things are going well. Clownfish, super healthy. Green chromas, they all accounted for, all 8 of them. Bicolor blenny, getting bolder and bolder. Yasha goby, always hanging out near the cave with the pistol shrimp right there. See, he is kind of hanging out. And then I'm starting to get a lot of these like white stringy sponge. They're all over the back. See those guys? It's slightly annoying, but it's cool. Oh, look, there's the there's the baby rose purple anemone. I guess it actually found a spot where it's not covered by the large one. Now I just got to find the rainbow to see where it is. So some of you guys have commented on how much the clowns hated the green chromas. I just want to reiterate that this only happened when I'm in front of the tank. When I'm standing like over there, right, the tank is like pretty peaceful. The clown may chase them away once in a while, but it's only when I'm really close to the tank, they think that food is coming, that they aggressively chase away the green chromas. So that is not the norm. Anyways, these guys are doing well. I'm pretty surprised and happy because, like, remember I lost one, I think like month and a half, actually it's been 2.5 months now, 2.5 months right before my Philippine trip, and I felt like, uh-oh, it's going downhill. But ever since I lost that one, these guys has been doing great, so crossing my fingers. The red mushroom started popping off that rock, probably because of the because it's being shaded, as well as the gold wool hammer encroaching on it. So I started finding like red mushroom there and red mushroom there, which is okay. I mean, I don't mind these guys. I always enjoy seeing like Xenia there. That's fine. I mean, it's not to a point where it's taking over a tank. Even if it is, I do like the natural look. And this, again, guys, this is my kind of like my bread and butter. A lot of people, they have really well-maintained tank, but I'm not that meticulous. My style is more like, okay, I plant a chunk here, plant a chunk here, plant a chunk here, and just let them grow wild. And I do find beauty in that kind of style. And that's also why I've been keeping like mixed reef, because they're easy and they're okay with dirtier water, and like they're not as touchy in terms of like touching on the corals. For the most part, a lot of things sting each other, but for the most part, I try to keep things where they don't sting each other as badly. So actually, you know what? If you on YouTube, look up Inappropriate Reefer, right? And don't go to this channel, but there's certain videos that start with Inappropriate Reefer and then space another title. That's actually my other YouTube channel. It contains a lot of my older video clip from my 65-gallon tank. The 65-gallon tank is my tank that I had before this, maybe like 10 or so years ago. And that was the style I did. I kind of just like planted things and just let it go crazy and see what happens. And I actually really like that look a lot. It just really grown in. And you hardly see any rocks similar to what we have here. Everything just kind of covered up by corals. And I just like that look. So, all in all, I just want to update you guys really quickly in terms of what has been happening with the 45-gallon tank. I did not do too much of it, but somehow it found stability in it. I do have some algae issue. For example, the diatom on the sand bed, those kind of like hair algae, fuzzy algae over there. Also, I do see some bubble algae, which I have from time to time, but they have never became like plague proportion. So I do have some nutrient issue, and I think I know how to address it. I know that sump is dirty, I just gotta get around to do it. Water change, I've been doing it once a month, so that is okay. But besides that, I'll be tweaking the lights, especially since I picked up this guy right here, Focustronic. I'm gonna try to slap it on. Since I've had some time with the UFOs, I'm gonna slap it on the Focus One and then see how the corals like that light, especially with the rotating feature. I'm not sure how much benefit a 45-gallon tank is going to get from that rotating feature, if at all, but I'm planning to maybe like stick it on this side and have it rotate this way a little bit. So most of the light's coming down this way, but during a certain time of the day, it will kind of turn a little bit to bring some light this area as well. Or I may kind of slide over here and do it this way instead. I don't know. I'm going to experiment a little bit and see what works best. So with that said, this is just a pretty quick update on the 45-gallon tank. And again, I may start pumping out more than one video a week, depending on how the editing goes. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait to share with you what I did in Hong Kong as well as Philippines. There's lots of awesome things I saw. All right, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next Sunday at 9:30 a.m. sharp, if not earlier. Later, guys.
Yeah.